We are providing only 20% video as a part of promotion. For remaining 80%, that is 6 to 8 articles, current affairs video, NCERT videos and general studies complete videos, please subscribe to our complete package. 1. Ancient viruses that affected our ancestors 30 million years ago found. GS Paper 3. Science and Technology Developments and Their Applications and Effects in Everyday Life. Why recently in news? A team of US researchers has revealed the global spread of an ancient group of retroviruses called ERVFC. These retroviruses affected about 28 of 50 modern mammals' ancestors some 15 to 30 million years ago. What does the study say? Retroviruses are abundant in nature and include human immunodeficiency viruses, HIV-1 and 2, and human T-cell leukemia viruses. The findings on a specific group of these viruses show that they affected a wide range of hosts, including species as diverse as carnivores, rodents and primates. The study also places the origins of ERVFC at least as far back as the beginning of the Oligocene epoch, a period of dramatic global change marked partly by climatic cooling that led to the Ice Ages. Outcome of the study. Viruses have been with us for billions of years, and exist everywhere that life is found. They have a significant impact on the ecology and evolution of all organisms, from bacteria to humans. Over the course of millions of years, however, viral genetic sequences accumulate in the DNA genomes of living organisms, including humans, and can serve as molecular fossils for exploring the natural history of viruses and their hosts. The evolutionary change in the genes of these viruses reflect their adaptation to different kinds of mammalian hosts. What is a retrovirus? A retrovirus is a virus that uses RNA as its genetic material. When a retrovirus infects a cell, it makes a DNA copy of its genome that is inserted into the DNA of the host cell. There are a variety of different retroviruses that cause human diseases, including the common cold, some forms of cancer, and AIDS. 2. Upgrading India's cybersecurity architecture. GS Paper 3. Internal Security Challenges, Basics of Cybersecurity. Some facts about India's cybersecurity framework. Two things set aside India's digital spaces from that of major powers such as the United States and China are design and density. India is a net information exporter, with its information highly flowing westwards. This is due to the lack of any serious effort by the Indian government to restrict the flow of data. Density of India's cyberspace. Nearly 500 million Indians use the Internet today, but they do not access the Internet from the same devices. Apple's market share in the US, for instance, is 44%, but iPhones account for less than 1% in India. The massive gap between the security offered by the cheapest phone in the Indian market and a high-end smartphone makes it impossible for regulators to set legal and technical standards for data protection. India's cyber infrastructure is vulnerable to four kinds of digital interventions. Espionage, that involves intruding into systems to embezzle critical value information. Cyber crimes, like electronic fraud or other acts of severe illegal outcomes. Attacks, intended at disturbing services or systems for a brief phase. War, created by a large-scale and methodical digital attack on the country's significant cyber networks. measures adopted by Indian government to counter cyber attacks. Indian officials have overcome internal cybercrime even as countering major intrusions on a case-by-case basis. The Prime Minister's Office, PMO, formed the post of National Cybersecurity Coordinator in 2014. India's resident organizations have in-house problem-solving agencies. India's armed forces have their own cushion set-ups to counteract cyber intrusions. How an ideal national cybersecurity agency would look like. The first criteria is to accommodate the agency with permanent and semi-permanent staff trained in cyber operations, including defending and offending the cyberspace. The proposed National Cybersecurity Agency, NCSA, should have a functional headquarters. The second criteria is to synchronize the agency's policy functions and operations. The NCSA should have a vision statement for the country's cyber strategy. Indian agencies performing cyber operations. The National Technical Research Organization, the National Intelligence Grid, the National Information Board and the Ministries of Defense, Home, External Affairs and IT. How to upgrade the Indian cyberspace. The government should follow a two-pronged strategy in the short term. Firstly, promote control in cyberspace as a global standard. Secondly, the government should summarize recruitment guidelines to hire and train a batch of cyber specialists.